EFF and the DA is taking the ANC to the High Court. So they're currently there trying to deliberate this issue. But then it's also caused a lot of issues in other parties, BOSA and Action SA as well. They've come in and they've been criticized as well for number one, supporting the ANC. And after the ANC had put down the VAT increase, they now come out and saying, actually, we didn't support this thing. We thought you guys would change your mind, but now the mind is not changing as we thought it would. So the caught between a rock and a very, very hard place. And the hard place is politics. Of course, the rest of the political parties are now coming out and criticizing them and saying, you guys are just you just puppets. You literally jump at any opportunity where you get opportunity to shine.
That's what it is.
In other news, meanwhile, the Western Cape High Court has heard oral arguments in the DA's application to block the VAT hike and challenge the constitutionality of the country's VAT laws.
So this seems to be it's going to be an ongoing process for... I think we have until the early parts of May to have to come up with a decision as a country. But I think in the next week or so, it's going to be a lot of back and forth between our parliamentarians. Nonetheless, the man accused of killing Walter Sisulu University student Sisenko Mbolekwa during a protest at the Mthatha campus last week appeared in court yesterday.
And the Zenzo Mayo murder trial has once again been delayed in the Pretoria High Court Magistrate Court. Okay, 5 men are on trial for the football stars in 2014 murder at the home of his then girlfriend Kelly Khumalo.
10 years later, and we're still at it. In fact, funny enough, yesterday on Monday, actually, the new lawyer for the prosecutor came onto the stand, and he asked the judge for more time to go through the dockets and the documents. The judge is like, Chief, you had 2 months to go over 40,000 page dockets. Of course, 40,000 is a lot. It's a lot of pages, especially as a lawyer. But then the guy came out and said, to my defense, I was only put into as a lawyer for this case only recently. But now it begs the question as to why are there so many lawyers and judges changing so much. I mean, there's been 2 judges already in this case alone. Other cases of higher profiles have gone on quite swiftly, have moved around, and 10 years later we're still dealing with trying to find out who Senzo Mariwa's murderer is.
So at what point do they order like a mistrial to say I've been tried?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I was about to ask. It's either somebody said it was a mistrial, but somebody saying we can't let it go.
Yeah, the part where they're letting it go comes in. That's where the family comes in. The family wants justice. The family wants answers. Senzo Mariwa's family, they're not going to let this lie down. Of course, they want a solution. They want somebody to be put into prison for the son's death. So it's never going to. I don't think it'll be a mistrial, but it will continue. Hopefully, somebody comes out and says, "Hey, Chief, listen, I just did this thing. Just put me in behind bars."
Because it's tough.
So, in a landmark ruling, the Johannesburg High Court has affirmed that apartheid-era crimes can still be prosecuted. So the court declared apartheid a crime against humanity, meaning such cases carry no statute of limitations under the international law. I wonder what Mr. Trump is going to say about that.
Yeah, no, I don't think actually he shouldn't have a word in this. Apartheid is something he should have zero.
It's because of his involvement with the Afrikaners. That's why I'm wondering what is his opinion gonna be on the fact that now we're saying we can actually prosecute these people.
Yeah, it might just add more hot water to what he's trying to cook. You say, okay,
it won't look good on him. It won't look good on him. So, but anyway, who are they gonna arrest?
I know there's quite a lot.
They're going to arrest the president?
Quite a lot. Maybe not necessarily the president, but of course,
who are they going to arrest?
Most of the people that committed apartheid crimes are most likely in the elderly years. Some have already passed away, so they're just pretty much taking them to court. I don't know if you guys remember, there's a TRC, the Court of Reconciliation, where a lot of the apartheid people that are involved in apartheid war crimes had to go up in court and to commit and to admit that they committed apartheid war crimes, and of course the TRC will consider as to whether to forgive them or to prosecute them. So I think more than anything, the elderly, these guys are like 80, 70 years old. So I mean, you're going to put them in prison for what, 2 years, and then they're going to pass away?
I don't think all of them are that old, because we forget that apartheid was just now.
Yeah, it was just now, because most of those police officers in them?
Yeah, mostly police officers.
Yeah, because most police officers probably joined like 20 years or whatever, or 20 years old or something like that. They're not that old. They're probably like 40s, 50s, and 60s.
I was born like 2 years after it ended.
So I want to know, the president at that time, is he also getting arrested?
No, he was prosecuted already. If they, if W. de Klerk, if I'm not mistaken, he was prosecuted. And I think both the presidents during that party, during the national, what's that party called? Yeah, there was a party during that time. Both those presidents were prosecuted, and in fact, Mandela had already pardoned FW de Klerk before he passed away, and a lot of people, So the presidents definitely won't be prosecuted. It's it's mostly like you mentioned, the police officers, the army generals.
But those guys are following orders as well, you know.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well.
It's not their fault.
You know, they did a similar.
They can get away with that to say, look, guys, we're just following orders. So you wanted us to break the law?
They did research on that when it came to like the German Nazis and those soldiers that were actually there in the concentration camps leading these things, and they were trying to determine. Could you really be forced to go against your morality as a person?
But Feroza, if your salary is on the line, you'll do anything, man.
How big is that salary? You gotta feed your kids, man.
You have to feed your kids. In that situation, you're looking out for your well-being. You're thinking to yourself, actually, I was paid to do this, and you'll find most of these crimes, like you mentioned, took place within prisons and whatnot. So there was never really a publicized thing. Once the ANC stalwarts or stewards were caught, all these abuses took place within the prison. So not the public. It was never really in the public eye. You find somebody who got murdered for during process of torture. I think that's what they're looking at. Is most of the guys that were tortured in prisons, the guys that were beaten in prisons, not necessarily the crimes that happen outside in the public eye.
Yeah, because how do you track down all of those people as well?
Nonetheless, continuing with local news, Newzroom Africa has now placed journalist and anchor Aldrin Samper on a break following his involvement in a road rage incident that had since gone viral on social media. Did you guys see this?
So embarrassed. No,
Have
I didn't.
Seen it? Was it rather violent? Was it very violent?
Hey,
I must see this thing. I want to see what's going on.
I need to check it
we're gonna
out.
go to
People
TikTok.
always say I have road rage. I want to see what other people behave when they
Do you have? I can't picture it.
I mean, I'm always like, I never hoot at other people. I just, I put signs. Fingers I give them thumbs up. It's like, Jeff, here's your thumbs up for the day.
I see. I don't know. Road rage is not a thing for me. It's just like.
No, you have road rage, bro. You're in your hooter. You know, if there's one person that I wish they removed the hooter from, it was you, bro. You're on your hooter, anything. What are you doing? I'm like, bro, this guy is just stopping at stop sign.
No, I'm just making him aware that I'm there. I'm just, that's what I'm doing. I'm making him aware because, you know, like clearly he's doing something that I don't like because he doesn't see me. So I gotta give signals.
So I swear at people, but not like to the point where you hear me. You'll just see my mouth moving and you will assume that that was the F word or that was the P word. And I will look at you when I'm doing, even if I'm in the passenger, I'll be there PPing, FFing.
Guys, people go through a lot when they're on the road there, guys. They're going through a lot. Now you're meeting somebody that maybe the boss told him a few words. Now they're on the road with you there, you know. Sometimes it's different.
You must woosah before you start the car.
You know, maybe they got out of the house. Maybe the husband got a few words from the wife. Now he's on the road. He's going to take it out on you, so I understand. But anyways.
To be honest, I do wonder to myself sometimes if I see someone speeding, is there a woman in labor in that car in the back seat? And they're like, don't push yet.
Hold on, keep holding.
Maybe just.
Yeah, man. But anyways, it has emerged that the deadly Apartheid-era disease has been detected in 40 nationally between January 2024 and January 2025. That's actually quite good numbers there.
Yeah, considering that
That's a good
365 days, only 40 people.
Only 40 people. That's a good number.
But it's a deadly disease.
Oh, yeah?
That's what they say. I don't want to catch anything that has deadly before its name.
And I heard there was apparently a measles outbreak in South Africa as well, so you need to be a little bit cautious in that, especially approaching the winter season.
So the South African Weather Service.
Sorry, I just put on the mask. It's very important to put on the mask these days, guys.
Hey, Asians don't play with masks here in South Africa.
No, Asians don't play with the mask, bro. They do not play with it.
Noticed.
They haven't. They've been not before COVID, and still
they are still within.
We learned from them.
So the South African Weather Service issued a level 4 yellow warning for severe thunderstorms expected in parts of the Free State and Eastern Cape today. So be safe out there on the roads, guys.
Speaking about the Eastern Cape, I don't know if you guys saw this news this morning. There was a death in the Mangaung prison. Of course, the Mangaung prison, infamously known for Thabo Best's escape. It's now come out in the news again that somebody else, that one of the four wardens, was suspended in the Eastern Cape Mangaung prison for allegedly killing one of the prison inmates for 800 rand.
Ha!
Yeah. Allegedly.
Hey, sorry, I'm not laughing because I'm just like laughing at how ridiculous this is.
So I mean, there's a bit of speculations as to what exactly took place, but of course, the four wardens of that prison have been suspended. Of course, that prison has been under the limelight for quite some time after Thabo Best's escape, and now it's been brought into the light again. We'll get more news on this as well to find out how it actually transpired.
What if this death is another escape?
Maybe, no?
That's what I was about to say.
Maybe.
Isn't this another escape? Come on, guys. It seems like it's a thing now.
At that place specifically.
It's a thing now.
Nonetheless, to wrap up your local news, Transport Minister Barbara Christie has now applauded the traffic officials after the N1 in Limpopo recorded no fatal crashes during the 2025 Easter weekend.
I'm not going to crash when I'm on my way to go see my beautiful house that I've been building.
In Limps.
You won't crash, but there's another person who crash into you.
Hey,
that's where the difficulty comes in.
Human beings.
Because there's always that one punk who's always on the road doing nonsense.
Nah.
You know. See, that's why I hooted them to make sure that, hey, slow down.
Guys, to be honest, have you ever been that punk on the road? Like when you first started driving, you were excited, the freedom.
Nah.
Ever?
No. Probably a little less excitement, a little bit more cautious approach to it, but yeah, maybe not so much excitement. Because at the same time, you have to look at the gears. Driving a manual car, it takes full attention.
My parents made sure that, hey, Chief, you die here on the road.
Make sure.
They make sure you
drive
so
for
they've
yourself
installed
and the one
that,
behind you, the one in front of you, the
that
one
fear
aside
already in me. So every time I get on the road, hey, it's like this. You know, it's
I'm
like
literally driving for 5 people when you're in your car. Literally watch front, back, side, left. The car, 5 cars ahead of you. You're watching and seeing what's going on. So
which is another thing, like to make sure when we're in the Uber, we make sure the driver, let the driver be in the right sense, because that driver has his safety and your safety as well in his hands. So please, sometimes, I'm just saying,
those that request an Uber after the curve.
Don't say because I've paid my whatever Uber fee. And he has to be in the right state of mind, please. So don't curse at them, don't do any of that. I'm just saying.
No, facts.
Just to wrap it up, as far as news are concerned, let me give you some insights with our sporting headlines. Of course, SA Netball, as well as Netball Africa, is in a bit of disarray, with Cecilia Molokwane being currently suspended and investigated. And as far as our football is concerned, we're now heading into the penultimate rounds of our football matches around the world, as far as the season is concerned, as we head up to the wrap-up round of football around South Africa and Europe specifically. And of course, I'll give you some insight as far as our news with regards to VAR in South Africa. More insight at 10:30.